Have you ever been in a room full of people who love and know you, and you still felt completely like you're invisible? My name is Gavin Weber, and I have spent nearly 20 years hiding who I really was. I'd sit at dinner parties, nodding along to conversations about sports and weather, while my mind was screaming, wanting to talk about like consciousness and energy and purpose, things I thought was meaningful. And I thought I was protecting myself from rejection. But here's what I actually learned. You can't find people who love the real you while you're busy being the fake you. And I know that probably lands hard, but stay with me. You go to dinner parties and you smile at the small talk. You sit in a meeting and you nod at conversations that feel absolutely hollow. And you're a room full of family and you feel like you're watching through a glass wall, totally disconnected, right? Even your closest friends, people who've known you for years, they love you, but they don't really know you. They know the version of you that's acceptable, that's manageable, the you that talks about work and weather and weekend plans, right? But the you that wakes up late at night wondering about the nature of consciousness, the you that feels energy in rooms, the you that knows we're all connected. That reality is created, and that is what we do, that you came here for something specific and important for your life. That you keep it locked away, because the few times you try to let that out, the looks you got, the concerned questions, the subject changes, the uncomfortable silence. So you learn to edit yourself, to translate your truth in digestible pieces, to keep your stuff, your deep stuff for your meditation practice and cushion. And now you can't find your people, your tribe, your soul family. And you think because they don't exist. But what if I were to tell you that they're looking for you too, and they can't find you either? And here's the thing, nobody wants to really say out loud, you can't find people who love the real you while you're busy being the fake you. And I know that lands hard. Stay with me. You're putting out a frequency that says, I'm normal, I'm safe, I'm just like everyone else. And then you're wondering why you keep attracting people who want normal and safe and just like everyone else conversations. You're living in spiritual witness protection is how I compare it. And then you're frustrated that nobody ever recognizes you and sees you. You're hiding your light under a bushel basket. And then you're confused why you can't find other people who shine. Think about it. When you're at that networking event or that parent teacher night or that family gathering, and someone asks you what you're into, what do you say? Do you tell them like you're fascinated by consciousness and creating your reality, that you meditate daily, that you believe, all these kind of things that are a little bit out there, that you're obsessed with finding your purpose? Or do you say something safe? Oh, just work and the kids, same old, just staying busy. How about you? You're a closeted mystic. And then you wonder why you keep having certain relationships. And listen, I get it. I get why you hide. Hell, I feel like I've been hiding most of my life. You didn't just wake up one day and decide to be inauthentic. You learn through painful experience. That time you talked about energy at that office holiday party and everyone got quiet. That friend who looked at you with concern when you mentioned manifesting and asked, hey, are you all okay? And that family member who made a joke about, oh, you always talk about woo-woo stuff. Or sometimes even a partner who loves you, but changes the subject every time you try to go deep. Each little rejection taught you this part of you isn't welcome here. This part of you makes people uncomfortable. This part of you needs to stay hidden if you want to belong to this group. And belonging is a survival need. We're wired for it. So your system learned to protect you by hiding the parts that threaten connection. But here's what's happening right now. You're so safe. You're suffocating. You protected yourself right into isolation. You have lots of friends and nobody to really talk to. You're in a relationship where you're loved, but not necessarily fully seen. You're in a career where you're respected, but not authentic. You're maintaining a whole life that doesn't actually fit you anymore. And here's how energy actually works. And you know this. I know you've read the books, right? Like attracts like, frequency attracts matching frequency. But you can't broadcast one frequency and expect, to attract another. You can't put out, I'm totally normal and conventional, and then attract people who want to talk about parallel realities and soul contracts. Doesn't work. You can't show up as the sanitized version of yourself and expect deep souls to actually recognize you. Your people, your real people, they're out there right now. They're at the same coffee shop, the same gym, the same kid soccer game. They're in the same meetings, the same neighborhoods, the same online spaces, but they're also hiding. They're also pretending to be normal. They're also having the safe conversations while their soul screams for something real. I can so relate to all this. And you keep missing each other because you're both wearing those masks. You're like two radio stations trying to connect, but broadcasting on completely different frequencies. You never hear each other. You're set to normal FM, hoping to find somebody on mystic radio. It doesn't work that way. You have to be findable. And you can only be found when you stop hiding. And I know all of what I'm sharing because this has been exactly me. Okay. And think about the people in your life who you do feel seen by, even just a little bit. How did that connection happen? I'm willing to bet it happened when one of you, maybe them, maybe you took a little bit of a risk. You said something real. You showed something true. Drop the mask for just a moment. And then the person recognized it and leaned in instead of away and was like, that's the moment. That's the recognition. But it requires someone to go first. So what happens when you stop pretending? When you start showing up as who you actually are? A few things. First, some people will leave. And that's okay. You got to be ready for that. Actually, it's better than okay. It's necessary. Those relationships were built on a version of you that doesn't exist. Letting them go makes room for connections that are real. Second, some people will actually surprise you. That coworker you thought was totally conventional, turns out they meditate too. That neighbor who seems so normal, they're also searching for meaning. That family member you wrote off years ago, they've been waiting for permission to be real too. And when you stop performing normalcy, you give other people permission to stop too. Very cool. Thirdly, your people will start appearing like magic, except it's not magic, it's frequency. The moment you stop broadcasting your truth and people on that same frequency can finally find you. And that random conversation at the grocery store that turns into a 2-hour coffee, that person in the comment section who gets it, that new friend who you feel like you've known for lifetimes, like out of nowhere. They were always there. You just couldn't see each other through the mask. But here's the fourth thing I want you to know, and this is really important to grasp. When you do this, you'll feel exposed. Like you're going to feel vulnerable. You're going to be scared because you will be. You're showing up as your real self. It's terrifying at first. There's no performance, no buffer, no persona to hide behind. When someone loves the real you, it actually matters more, which means rejection cuts deeper too. But here's what I know. The loneliness you feel from hiding is way worse than any loneliness from being seen and rejected. At least when you're rejected for being yourself, it wasn't about you. They just weren't your person. But when you're accepted for being someone you're not, that's the deepest loneliness of all. Because you're invisible even when you're right in front of people. So here's what I want you to do. This week, I want you to practice being findable, not in some big dramatic way. You don't have to post a manifest on social media or show up to your next work meeting, talk about past lives, right? Just stop editing yourself quite so much. And when someone asks you what you've been up to, tell them, I've been meditating. Tell them a book you've been reading. See what happens. When someone asks what you're interested in, tell them you're exploring consciousness and how to create your reality. Watch their, how they react. And when you feel the urge, just, share something real. Don't swallow it. Let it out. And yes, some people, they're going to look at you weird. Some people will change the subject. Some will make a joke or give you a concerned look. let them, because for every person who backs away, there's someone else who has been waiting their whole life to hear someone talk like you do. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable with your truth. Your job is to speak your truth and see who recognizes it. The recognition, it's going to be instant. Feel it. That moment when someone's eyes light up and they say, oh my God, yes, I thought I was the only one. Or can we talk more about this? That's your person. That's your people. But they can't find you if you're hiding. What's really happening, don't you? You just protecting yourself from rejection. You're protecting yourself from your own power. Because the moment you stop hiding, everything changes. You can't go back to the conversations that don't matter, that used to bore you. You can't pretend to care about things you just don't care about. You can't keep living small compared to what you know is possible for your life. Being seen as you really are, it requires you to actually be who you really are, not just in meditation, not just in your journal, not just late at night when everyone else is asleep already, all the time. And that's a bigger life than the one you're currently living. It requires more courage, more authenticity, more risk. It requires you to stop waiting for permission and stop and actually start giving yourself permission. It requires you to value your own truth more than other people's comfort or acceptance in you. It requires you to be willing to stand alone until your people find you. And that's scary. I know it is. But you know what's scarier? Getting to the end of your life and realizing you spent it pretending. The people at your funeral love a version of you that never fully existed, that you never let anyone, love the real you because you were too afraid to show them. Your people are out there. They're looking for you. They're tired of small time and surface relationships too. Like they feel the same way. They're dying for real conversations, real connection, real community. They're ready to go deep, to be authentic, to stop pretending. But they can't find you while you're hiding. So stop hiding. Be weird, be deep, be too much, be exactly who you are. The right people won't think you're crazy. They'll think you're whole. If this resonated, I'd love for you to leave a comment telling me about, a truth about yourself that you normally hide. And let's practice finding each other together. And if you're ready to find your people who get it, who are on the same journey, who won't think you're crazy for wanting more for your life and to wake up orange and create your reality, then I've also been building something for people like us. Check out the link below if this resonated with you and you would like to learn more about that. Would love for you to subscribe and join this YouTube community. We're all here for you. Your tribe is waiting, but first you have to let them see you. So I look forward to hearing from you. I reply to every comment. Appreciate you being on this journey, and